All right. Are you nervous? That's my question right now. It's the night before the NFC Championship game. I have a lot of content ready for you. Margot and I were running around town today and tonight. We're still going to be running around town a little bit, talking to a lot of people about the 49ers today. And I've got some cool footage for you here in just a little bit. A couple of the restaurant owners have their predictions for 49ers Lions. Spoiler alert, I'm going to run my prediction during this live. Then it's going to come out as a separate video on top of that. So you'll see a sneak preview to the separate video as we do this. And then maybe if you can twist Margot's arm into a prediction, she'll give one as well. I think she's just too nervous to give a prediction. I'm neutral, though. I'm just sitting here. I have my unbiased opinion on who's going to win 49ers or the Lions, and I'll give it to you in just a little bit. First, we're going to talk. We're going to discuss my piece this morning with Colton Pouncey, who's our Lions writer. That is Jared Goff on the left, the hometown kid coming back to the Bay Area. Brock Purdy on the right. That is the ultimate preview that we have on The Athletic. I know I've written so much over the course of this week. There's even more than that. I have the big Javon Kinlaw, Eric Armstead story to help get you ready for this. Why don't I get that up on the screen as well? Javon Kinlaw and Eric Armstead, that's a hell of a 49ers combo with, we have to get deeper into this than just the football. You have to talk about the personality as well. You have to talk about what's made the 49ers locker room get to this point. And I'll toss that up on the screen for you right now. It should be there. Good. There you go. Javon Kinlaw, Eric Armstead. Why the 49ers, Javon Kinlaw sees Eric Armstead as his guiding light through NFL adversity. This is what it's all about at this point. Let's just slow down, soak in what's about to happen tomorrow. The winner is going to go to the Super Bowl. The loser is going to be absolutely devastated. So the trials and tribulations that have happened since the last time the 49ers were at this point, which was a year ago in Philadelphia, have been immense. Some of those trials and tribulations have been experienced by the player up there on your screen, Javon Kinlaw. And the second guy, too, Eric Armstead, has fought tirelessly over the course of the past 6 weeks to be back and ready to play in this football game. This means a lot, and I don't think that people on the outside really understand how many hours some of these players, the hours the coaches are putting in to be at this level. These coaches sleep in their office during the course of the season. They're definitely sleeping in their office this week. This is the NFC Championship game. Legacies are on the line. I mean, this is as big as it gets on a home field. Let's put it that way. Obviously, the Super Bowl is as big as it gets overall. But when it comes to playing on a home field, this is it. There are no more home games after this. There are no more road games after this. It's neutral site at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas for the Super Bowl, but this is it. And as far as playing in front of the home fans, the NFC Championship has a different kind of electricity. The work that's been put in to be at this point is immense. And you're facing the prospect of losing and being like, God damn, man, we did all that and we lost the NFC Championship game. The Lions might be feeling a little bit less of that than the 49ers, less of that kind of pressure because they're just happy to be here. This is their third season. This is like the Niners in 2019 who stormed out of nowhere, and it was an adrenaline rush the whole way. But the 49ers, they're about to play their fourth NFC Championship game in 5 seasons. The pressure is ratcheted all the way up. A loss for San Francisco tomorrow would be devastating on so many levels. I'm not saying they wouldn't be able to bounce back from it, but it would be devastating. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This would be a devastating loss. So the 49ers are favored. The pressure is on them. I ask you, are you nervous as 49ers fans? Because I know a lot of 49ers fans are watching. Hell, if Lions fans are watching, you can tell me, are you nervous? I'm going to go through the comment section right now. Let's see. Give me a yes or a no, or give me a short answer, and I'll put it up on the screen if we have any nerves right now. We have Joseph saying it's going to be a gorgeous day all around. Yes, it will be. And that's going to be part of the little scouting report video I was going around town today that I'm going to play for you in just a little bit. We've got some yeses on the nerves. So yes from Dennis Johnson. Yes from Sharon Chan. Go for Broke is nervous as well. He's a regular commenter. Blake is not nervous. I wonder why Blake isn't nervous. Hey, I respect it. I think the 49ers are obviously favored in this game. I could see some 49ers fans saying, no, I'm not nervous. I just want to go out and win, see my team win this game. So I love hearing the different perspectives. Dan Nelson is not nervous. So there's a lot of confidence amongst the 49ers, right? Anyway, scouting report from around town. I'm going to go ahead and play it right now. And this is going to lead up into our predictions.
All right, it's the day before the NFC Championship, and a cable car might just run us over here in San Francisco. No, I got out of the way. You know, I'm going around the city today. I'm going to give 49ers, Lions pieces of advice. And one piece of advice for the 49ers would be block Aiden Hutchinson and, Colton McKivitz. This is going to be one of the biggest matchups of the 49ers right tackle's career, because Aiden Hutchinson, he's a good player. Colton McKivitz obviously is a better run blocker than he is a pass blocker. You don't have to help Trent Williams with any slide protection or chip blocks, but I think that you might have to help Colton McKivitz, because this Aiden Hutchinson matchup may make or break what the 49ers are able to do offensively. So tip one for the 49ers this week: block Aiden Hutchinson. Do whatever you need to help out Colton McKivitz. And, one of the people that can help them is Brock Purdy. And Brock Purdy has helped his offensive line all year. Brock Purdy's been awesome as far as releasing the football. And then his quickness in the pocket. I mean, he's elite as a quarterback, but he's also elite when it comes as a mover within the pocket. So that's going to be really important for the 49ers to be able to diffuse some of the Detroit pressure that's going to be coming from the edge in Aiden Hutchinson. Food here in North Beach, and we're going around the city today, and we're getting food recommendations too. Les Sandwich and Healdsburg Bagel Company, both of those spots, awesome in North Beach. Les Sandwich, as I told you, Elias, he's going to have a 49ers score prediction for you at Les Sandwich. Elias over on Columbus, he's the real deal. How about this weather in the Bay Area? You can hear the plane above me. That reminds me of the sound effects behind games at Candlestick Park on sunny Sunday afternoons. Well, it's going to be Levi Stadium tomorrow, but it's going to be like an October sunny afternoon. It's going to be 70 degrees. As you can see, the rain has passed. Golden Gate Bridge behind me. The foghorn not blowing today. The real foghorn is not blowing today, but I do think that they're going to be blowing that foghorn at Levi Stadium in the Santa Clara Desert quite often tomorrow, because dry weather means a fast track, and a fast track, well, what does that mean for the 49ers? They have the number one offense in football, the number one passing offense in football, at undisputably elite quarterback in Brock Purdy. And guess what? The deep attack for Brock Purdy has been sensational this season. I'm talking best accuracy mark on deep passes in NFL history from Brock Purdy. 63.8% on throws that have traveled at least 20 yards in the air. So you look at Brock and you see somebody who has done something that PFF had never recorded before. Again, 63.8%. And you see the 49ers and their struggles with the wet football last week and the opposite conditions this week. And then you combine that with the fact that the Detroit Lions are the number 24 ranked defense against deep passes. Number 24 DVOA. 49ers number one on deep passes. The Detroit Lions number 24. Now, it's not going to be all deep passes. Purdy's number two on short balls and number one on intermediates. And I think the intermediates are going to be big against cover four if that's what the Lions run. But, I mean, the entire passing game is going to benefit from weather like this. But I think that the deep passing game, the 49ers may have a couple shots in them against two very substandard Lions cornerbacks. I think that's the biggest advantage in this NFC Championship game for San Francisco on a very fast track. Golden Gate Park on a relaxing Saturday. It certainly won't be as relaxing tomorrow when the 49ers take on the Lions for the NFC Championship. And another tip for San Francisco: accentuate that quarterback matchup. Brock Purdy is a whole lot better than the local kid, Jared Goff. Purdy has been the first or second rated quarterback in the NFL, depending on which metric you use against pressure. Jared Goff, meanwhile, not good against pressure. Goff's rating is 116 when the pocket is clean, when he's not facing pressure. His rating drops to 62 when he has faced pressure.
And how about this? This is Klay Thompson Speaking of the local connection, showing up to the Warriors game tonight in the jacket custom made by Kristen Juszczyk. Isn't that awesome? This is what it's all about. Clay
My
Thompson.
name is Elias Bikai. I'm a chef at Le Sandwich, which is my little place on 752 Columbus Avenue in North Beach. And I like to say that tomorrow the Niners, they're going to be on top and they're going to be winning by, let's say, 23-17. So that's my prediction for tomorrow.
This is Martin Castillo. We're at the Botanical Gardens right now, right here at Golden Gate Park. And my score prediction is going to be 31-20, 49ers all day. Yeah.
And there is a look at Candlestick Park, which hosted so many NFC Championship games. Obviously, Candlestick not there anymore. I'm sure you guys saw some of the other footage. Little treat for you here. Beautiful day in San Francisco, and it's a beautiful weekend, and you're going to get some of this sunny weather for the big game tomorrow at Levi's Stadium. Obviously not being played here at Candlestick. We make it a little bit of a tradition to head back to Candlestick and take a look at the site of former 49ers glory, because the point here is that the 49ers would like to return to glory tomorrow and then 2 weeks from then in Las Vegas in the Super Bowl. And winning 2 more games for the 49ers will mark a definite return to glory for this franchise. They've been digging for it for so damn long, right? It's the 7th year of the Kyle Shanahan era. They weren't going to get to the Super Bowl in 2017 or 2018. It wasn't going to happen in those 2 years. They weren't going to get to the Super Bowl early on. They needed to build the program, and they've definitely built the program. By 2019, they made it to the Super Bowl. Heartbreak against Kansas City. 2020, that team was exhausted, and obviously it was a weird year with the COVID year. The 49ers went 6-10. It might have been the best 6-10 team that we had ever seen. Well, it obviously didn't make the playoffs. But by 2021, they had dug themselves back out of the hole, and they had to do it in dramatic fashion, right? That was the year that they traded up to number 3. They picked up Trey Lance, but obviously they started Jimmy Garoppolo as they tried to develop Trey Lance. The team was, 3-5 to begin the season, and then they roared back to life. Several straight victories, a couple setbacks along the way in Seattle and Tennessee, but by the skin of their teeth, the 49ers made the postseason week 18 against the Los Angeles Rams. That was a hell of a performance down the stretch from Garoppolo and company. Then they beat the Dallas Cowboys on the road. Then they beat the Green Bay Packers in a snow globe game on the road, but then they ran out of gas against the Los Angeles Rams in the NFC Championship game. A big part of that was the 49ers just had to play so many straight elimination games. They weren't really, I think, equipped to finish that marathon strong. And these are marathons that you have to run as sprints in the NFL season. So in the 49ers' 20th game in that 2021 season, they fell short. They blew the lead against the Rams. Obviously, a devastating loss. 2022, 49ers set themselves up better, but they still don't get the first round bye. Instead, they're the number 2 seed in 2022. So they beat the Seahawks at home. Then they go on. Then they beat the Cowboys at home in the second round. Then they have to go on the road to Philadelphia. Obviously, they're more fatigued than Philadelphia is because the Eagles had the number 1 seed. Brock Purdy gets hurt on the first drive. The chances of a 49ers win go out the window. They would prove in 2023 that they probably would have beaten Philadelphia had Brock Purdy not gotten hurt, but it didn't matter in 2022. Eagles go to the Super Bowl, lose to the Chiefs instead. So another devastating finish for the 49ers because they never really had a shot against Philadelphia. So that brings us here to 2023, or at least the 2023 season. The 49ers do what they couldn't in 2021 and 2022. They earned the number 1 seed in the NFC. They turned the corner with that massive win in Philadelphia when the Eagles were 10-1 and the 49ers go and embarrass the Eagles in their own building. That was the moment where everybody said, oh boy, this is real. This 49ers team is legit. Even the most diehard Philadelphia fan, he might not say it out loud, but he knows the 49ers are legit after that game in Philadelphia. I mean, Deebo Samuel spearheaded the way, talked so much crap, and then he backed it up. He walked the walk after talking the talk. The 49ers scored on 6 straight drives. Brock Purdy showed the city of Philadelphia that the quarterback position is indeed important. The 49ers were off and running from that point. Yes, there was the hiccup against Detroit against Baltimore. Everybody understands there was that hiccup against Baltimore on December 25th, but the 49ers are very eager to try to get Baltimore again. If the Ravens beat the Chiefs tomorrow, the Ravens also have business to take care of. That was the only hiccup the rest of the way, right? For the 49ers, we're full steam ahead, number one team in football, except for those Ravens who beat them on December 25th. The Ravens are neither here nor there right now, though. The Ravens might be the opponent in 2 weeks. Now the 49ers get to try to beat the upstart Lions at home because they earned the number one seed. Last year at this time, we were talking about the 49ers headed to Philadelphia. They had to go on the road for the NFC Championship, Eastern time zone, all this, all that. This year, they don't have to do that. This year, the 49ers are locked, loaded, and ready to go at home as favorites against the Detroit Lions on a fast track. You just saw me go through the city today. Check out the weather in the city today. It is sunny. It's going to be 70 plus in Santa Clara tomorrow. This is the way that the 49ers set it up to be. It's easy for them to envision a victory. Jared Goff, the Lions quarterback, coming back to the Bay Area, Marin Catholic, Cal Bear, he has been terrible under pressure this year. We're talking a quarterback rating of under 70 under pressure this year, quarterback rating of over 110 when he hasn't been under pressure. So the 49ers have to stop that Detroit Lions run game. Somebody like Jahmyr Gibbs is so fast. The Lions offensive line, rough and tumble, but you stop the run, you get Jared Goff in position to make some mistakes because he hasn't been good under pressure. Other side of the ball, the 49ers, when you look at what Brock Purdy has done so far this season, and I mean, he's talked about trusting the check downs, and I get all that, and I put that on the screen earlier this week. The Lions run so much zone defense under Aaron Glenn, their defensive coordinator. And yes, they're the number one run defense, but the zone defense that they run is built to be good at run defense. They've been terrible in terms of pass defense. They've been the number 24 defense by DVOA against the pass. They've been number 15 or 16, I forget which, but it's mediocre overall against the pass. Brock Purdy has been number one by essentially every efficiency metric this season. The 49ers are going to have that dry track, which they didn't have last weekend. The 49ers have a massive advantage when it comes to combating the Lions' pass defense. 49ers pass offense against Detroit's pass defense. That is a big, big time edge for San Francisco. So you look at the matchup and you say, hey, this is Brock Purdy's day. And if Detroit starts committing extra resources against the pass, then obviously, hey, it's Christian McCaffrey's day. Maybe it's Christian McCaffrey's day, even if the 49ers are passing a lot, since he's such an important weapon in that regard of the game. But you look at this game, and the 49ers have a definite edge on paper. They are the better team than Detroit. And now it is time for them to live up to this legacy-generating moment. This is a legacy-defining moment. It is the NFC Championship game. Last week, the 49ers definitely forged their legacy in a very positive way. They beat the Green Bay Packers in a gut-wrenching game at home, a rain game, the type of game that had tripped up the 49ers so many times before in playoff history. You look at the slogs that they had played before. 1987 against the Minnesota Vikings is the 1 seed. 49ers bench Joe Montana during that game, and they lose. They had fallen behind too much, even though Steve Young put together a spirited comeback attempt. Move forward to the 1992 NFC Championship game against the Dallas Cowboys. The 49ers lose 30-20. Devastating win. Steve Young had won the NFL MVP that year, but he could not win the NFC Championship game. Then you go to the 1996 season. The 49ers play a slog at home against Philadelphia. They win 14-0, but Steve Young dislocates his rib in that game. And that ends up compromising him the next week in another slog, a cold slog at Green Bay. The eventual Super Bowl champion Packers knock off the 49ers. Steve Young couldn't last much longer than a drive. Elvis Grbac was the quarterback, and San Francisco loses by multiple possessions. It's a wet slog in the 1997 season NFC Championship game against Green Bay at Candlestick. 49ers lose again to the Packers. 23-10 is the final score. Then fast forward to 2011 season. New York Giants come in with Eli Manning. Alex Smith is the quarterback for the 49ers. Harbaugh is the coach. They're coming off of the win against the Saints, the dramatic shootout in the NFC divisional round. The rain ends up stymieing everything again. The 49ers go 1 of 13 on third down. nothing works out. These are all reasons why you probably should be nervous right now. I know it's not rainy tomorrow, but still, NFC Championship games have at times led to very bitter disappointments for the 49ers. But the fact that the 49ers got through the slog last week against Green Bay in that divisional round game, it was raining. Brock Purdy was inaccurate for much of the game. Nothing was going right, offense, defense, or special teams. But then Brock Purdy turned it on at the end, kind of like Joe Montana turned it on at the end of so many of his games, including the catch game against the Cowboys at the end of the 1981 season. The fact that San Francisco overcame the slog, the fact that Brock Purdy was able to do what Montana and Young generally were not able to do. Alex Smith wasn't able to do it in that 2011 season. The fact that the 49ers tossed the monkey off their back when it came to a rainy, sloggy game at home in the postseason, that has earned them the chance to play the Detroit Lions, an inferior team, on a dry track at home at Levi Stadium tomorrow. So I get it that, a lot of people might be nervous about what the 49ers may or may not do tomorrow, but they have overcome what has been a crucible for this franchise in the past, and that is the rain game at home in the playoffs, and they've earned a chance to play an inferior team at home in sunny weather. At least it will start in sunny weather. It will turn into darkness as the course of this game drags on. It starts at 3:30 p.m. at Levi Stadium, and that is a big, big deal. So obviously, my prediction is probably going to be rooted in that. It's going to be rooted in the fact that the 49ers get to play a dry game against a team that I don't think has the pass defense to hold them down tomorrow. Now, that doesn't mean that they don't stand a chance of being upset. Upsets can happen at all times in sports. Fumbles, weird things. Purdy can throw a bad interception that sets the 49ers on the wrong track. The run defense for San Francisco can struggle, because it has this year, and Detroit's run offense has been really good. We alluded to that a little bit earlier. You still play these games for a reason. So just because you're favored in the game, just because it's sunny weather outside, just because you're at home in the NFC Championship doesn't mean that a win is automatic. But the 49ers are in the driver's seat. They absolutely are in the driver's seat. And this is why the pressure's on. This is why their experience of having been there and done that in the NFC Championship game is huge tomorrow. And that is why my prediction is 49ers 34, Lions 24. I do think that the 49ers are going to win this football game tomorrow against the Detroit Lions. 34-24, headed to the Super Bowl. It should be a lot of fun for San Francisco. My plan the whole time here was to wrap this video up at around 23 minutes, because that's Christian McCaffrey's number. I think it's going to be a big game for Christian McCaffrey out of the backfield. And then when Detroit adjusts for that, I think he's going to have a big game on the ground as well. He's one of the 5 NFL MVP finalists. So is Brock Purdy. I think that the duo of Christian McCaffrey and Brock Purdy is going to be massive for the 49ers. And that's why, to close this NFC Championship game prediction video, I'm going to present to you this. This is the article that I wrote back in November. I think that it's the article that right now is the one that you should read. I think it's the one that zeroes in on what this game is all about. The 49ers, the key to Christian McCaffrey's initial success with them, a young backup named Brock Purdy. This is the origin story. We can trace back to the origin story when McCaffrey first arrived by trade in 2022, and Purdy was still an anonymous backup helping Brock Purdy out. Brock Purdy was still an anonymous backup helping Christian McCaffrey out. We can trace back to that. We can trace back to the moment that this bond was formed, and we could fast forward to now when these are two massive superstars in the NFL. They're both MVP finalists. I think that they are the most lethal duo of stars in the league right now. Purdy and McCaffrey have fed off of each other. It's been a great reciprocal arrangement so far. Tomorrow, they're going to be in the spotlight, and I think tomorrow they're going to punch the 49ers ticket to their 8th Super Bowl. And the 49ers will then have a chance to win their 6th Super Bowl 2 weeks later. So Purdy and McCaffrey, that's what it's all about against this Detroit Lions team tomorrow. My prediction is that the 49ers are going to win this game 34-24. That's the prediction. Much more coming soon. Everybody buckle up. This is going to be a huge deal tomorrow. NFC Championship. Either way that it goes, you're going to remember what happened. Let's put it that way. Anyway, everybody, thank you for watching. Make sure you do check out the piece. This was a big one. It will remain a big one. Purdy and McCaffrey for the 49ers tomorrow in what should be an epic NFC championship game against the Lions. Everybody have a good night. Get a good night's sleep. Make sure that you're rested. Tomorrow is going to be something that you do remember.